Hi, I'm David Maldo, your virtual presenter course instructor, and today we're going to learn how to work with our OBS sources. So let's continue where we left off. So in our last few lessons, we've learned how to send everything in our OBS preview window out to our video conferencing software, and we've created our first three sources in OBS. The first source was our camera capture, our webcam. Another one is an image file, which we use for our background image. And the third image file was my logo. So first, if we look at our sources in the list, we'll see they all have these two icons next to them. The first one, the eyeball icon, just shows or hides the source. So if I want to get rid of my logo, I click the eyeball and it's gone. And keep in mind that it's gone here, it's gone in my video conferencing software. Same thing for main camera and the background image. They're either shown or hidden. The next icon is a little lock. Now everything is locked. That means that no matter what I click up here on my preview window, nothing's happening. But if we unlock one of our sources, we can do a few things with it. So let's unlock this image file. I click the unlock and select it, and the first thing you'll see are these red lines around it. Now I know I've said a few times now that everything that shows up in this little window will be seen in your video meeting, but the one exception is these lines. The lines are just there for you to help you resize and set up your sources. Okay, so now that our image file is unlocked, what can we do with it? There's actually a lot you can do in OBS, but for the purposes of this course, 99% of the time, you're going to be wanting to do three things. Either moving it, resizing it, or cropping it. So let's go over those three really quick. Moving is very simple and intuitive. You just drag it, click, drag it around wherever you want it on the screen, you just put it there. Couldn't be simpler. As long as it's unlocked, if you click on it, you'll drag it around. Resizing is also very easy. You just grab it, one of these little red boxes on the sides or the corners, and drag. Make it whatever size you want it to be. Couldn't be easier. The third thing we're going to do with our image is cropping. Now cropping, you do have to remember something extra. You have to hold down the Alt key. I'm going to hold down my Alt key, and now when I grab one of these red bars, you see it turns green. You'll also notice that as I drag it across the image, it cuts off the image as opposed to resizing it from whatever side I do it from. And once something is cropped, you can still let go of the Alt key and then resize it. You can resize and crop in any order. I can make it big and then hold down the Alt button again and uncrop it until we see the bar turn red again. So let's put it back where it was. See, right around there, it looks nice. So we've learned how to move, resize, and crop our image. Let's see how that works with our other two sources. Let's try our webcam next. So in order to control my webcam image, I have to unlock it. But a best practice here, it's a good idea to only have one thing unlocked at a time. If you have multiple things unlocked, you might select and start moving around the wrong thing. So let's lock our image, our logo. Now we have our webcam unlocked and selected, and you see we have our red bars. So let's see what we can do. I should be able to grab this and resize it. Oh, there we go. I should be able to grab it anywhere and move it around. There we go. But wait, I have an issue. My green screen isn't big enough. You're seeing around the sides there. I need to get rid of that. So let's crop it. Hold down the Alt button. Let's take care of this side. That's nice. Take care of that side. And now that I'm cropped, let's put me where I need to be at the bottom and resize me. Put me where I want to be. Great. Something to note here. We've resized our video capture area so that it's smaller than our preview area. So what this means is, if I take my hand and put it outside of my video capture window, it gets cut off. Now, it doesn't look that bad with the frames here, but what our people will see in our video meetings would look something like this, which isn't a great effect. Now, sometimes I just have to set things up this way. The way I want to be laid out, the size I want to make myself, I can't take up the whole frame. So I just have to be aware of it and try to avoid putting my hands in those areas. Now, it still happens, it's unavoidable. You might have seen it so far in some of these lessons. Now, there are a few things you can do to try to avoid it if you really don't like that. One is I can see if I can uncrop, again, holding down my Alt button without showing anything. Oh, that's okay. I'm not showing anything I don't want to show. And now my hand goes all the way to the edge. It looks more natural. Let's see on the other side. If I uncrop, oh, no, we're seeing the edge of my green screen. I can't do that. But what I could do is I could move over so that it's at the edge. Now, again, my hand doesn't get cut off. One last thing to note here, and you might have noticed I've been doing this, you could make your sources bigger than the preview area. I can grab this and resize it. It's a one way to zoom in. If I want to do an extreme close-up, this is one way to do it. Or if I wanted to do a close-up on any image that I'm sharing as a source, you could zoom in by making the source bigger than the preview area. So again, we've cropped, resized, and moved until we're happy with our source. And just to show we can, let's do the same thing with our final source. So again, best practice, let's lock up the webcam, unlock the office background, select it, and we have our red lines. If we wanted to make it smaller, larger, whatever we want to do, again, we can crop, hold down my Alt button, get my green lines. We have total control over all of our sources with those 3 simple tricks: moving, resizing, and cropping. Now, just a quick second for the benefit of our advanced users. If you right-click on a source, you'll see a transform menu that has a lot of advanced options for working with our sources. But for the purpose of this course, all you really need to know is resizing, moving, and cropping. So now let's take a minute to understand layering. For example, this logo is in front of my hand. What if I wanted it to be behind my hand? How do I understand and control that? Well, fortunately, the order of the layers in the preview image is the same as the order of the layers in our list down here. So if I just drag this down one in the list, or select it and use the up and down arrows to move it, it should go behind my hand. If I click up, puts it in front of my hand, click down, puts it behind my hand. And if I click down again to put it behind the background, can't see it because it's behind the background. It's that simple. To better understand it, let me resize the background for a second. Let's take this and move it here. So you see the background, and then we can lock it up. It works when things are locked. The background is behind me. Let's move it up one. Now it's in front of me. Now I'm in front of the logo. If I move the logo up, the logo is in front of me. If I move the background down, it goes behind me. You get the idea. Whatever you control down here is what shows up here. Okay, let me resize my background again so that it looks the way it should. So now we're feeling pretty good. We've learned how to get our webcam and all sorts of images in our preview window, and how to size them and move them around, position them, and layer them any way we want. And that wraps up this lesson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.